At the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula lies a small island covering only 734 square kilometers, 3 times smaller than New York City. This island, once a poor British colony and a swamp filled with malaria and disease, is now one of the richest and most advanced nations in the world. Singapore, the city-state with almost no natural resources and not even enough drinking water, has transformed itself into a global financial and trade hub. It now operates the world's busiest port by shipping tonnage and stands as a model of urban planning and sustainable development. But how did this little red dot, as former Indonesian President B.J. Habibie once mockingly called it, achieve such a miracle? How did it maintain its independence and sovereignty in a turbulent region surrounded by much larger nations like Indonesia and Malaysia? And how did it come to dominate one of the world's most critical trade arteries, the Strait of Malacca, through which nearly a quarter of all global maritime trade passes? Today, we'll dive deep into the story of Singapore's rise, uncovering the strategies that turned this tiny island of just 5.9 million people into an economic giant and a serious geopolitical force. Strategic location, geography's priceless gift. The secret of Singapore's success lies in its exceptional geographic position. Located at the southern entrance of the Strait of Malacca, one of the most important waterways in the world, often called Asia's Suez Canal. This strait, stretching 900 kilometers long and between 65 and 250 kilometers wide, forms the shortest sea route between the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. It connects Asia's biggest economies, China, Japan, and South Korea, with the rest of the world, including Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. Every year, about 94,000 ships pass through the Malacca Strait. That's roughly 250 ships per day, or 1 ship every 6 minutes. These vessels carry about 25% of total global maritime trade, including 80% of China's oil imports, 60% of Japan's and South Korea's energy imports, and 25% of all goods traded worldwide. Any closure or disruption in this strait would have catastrophic consequences for the global economy, giving Singapore enormous geopolitical leverage far beyond its small size. Because of this unique position, Singapore became the natural port and mandatory stop for all these ships. The Port of Singapore is the second busiest port in the world by cargo tonnage after Shanghai, handling 37.2 million TEUs, 20-foot equivalent units annually. It's also the world's largest bunkering port, supplying over 50 million tons of marine fuel per year, about 1/4 of global demand. These figures make Singapore a vital hub for global maritime trade and an indispensable transit point for vessels worldwide. This didn't happen by chance. From its founding in 1819 by Sir Stamford Raffles as a trading post for the British East India Company, Singapore was designed to be a free port and commercial hub. After gaining independence in 1965, the Singaporean government heavily invested in expanding and modernizing the port, turning it into one of the most efficient and competitive in the world. Today, its terminals use the latest automated cranes and smart cargo tracking systems, ensuring smooth logistics and minimal waiting times for ships. From swamp to global financial powerhouse. When Singapore was forcibly separated from Malaysia in 1965, it faced what seemed like impossible challenges. No natural resources, no strategic depth, no sufficient drinking water, and no strong military. Its GDP per capita was just $516. Unemployment stood at 12%, and ethnic tensions among Chinese, Malays, and Indians threatened social stability. The situation was so bleak that founding Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew cried publicly when independence was announced, fearing an uncertain future. But instead of despair, Singapore's leadership, led by Lee Kuan Yew and his team of Western-educated technocrats, launched an ambitious economic plan. They focused on attracting foreign investment, developing high-value industries, building an educated workforce, and creating world-class infrastructure. This approach, known as the Singapore model, became a benchmark for developing nations worldwide. Today, Singapore ranks as the third largest financial center in the world, after London and New York. It's a global hub for technology and innovation, and one of the top exporters of electronics and chemicals. Its GDP per capita now exceeds 72,000 USD 2023, higher than the United States, Germany, or Japan, a 140-fold increase in just 58 years, one of the most impressive economic transformations in modern history. Singapore's economy relies heavily on international trade, finance, and high-tech manufacturing. The main sectors include finance, 13% of GDP, manufacturing, 20%, trade, 17%, business services, 15%, and transport and communications, 8%. It's also a biotech and R&D leader, hosting major global firms such as Google, Facebook, and Microsoft. Singapore consistently ranks among the top countries for ease of doing business and economic freedom. With a transparent legal system, advanced infrastructure, and world-class education, it attracts multinational corporations from around the globe. Its government provides generous tax incentives and foreign business support, solidifying its status as Asia's business capital. Defense and diplomacy, the hedgehog and the poisonous fish strategy. Despite its small size, Singapore maintains one of the most advanced and capable militaries in Southeast Asia. It follows a unique defense doctrine known as the hedgehog or poisonous fish strategy, which aims to make any attack on the country extremely costly, discouraging potential aggressors. This strategy combines military, economic, and diplomatic deterrence, not just brute force. Singapore spends around 3.2% of its GDP on defense, approximately $15.5 billion in 2023, one of the highest rates in the region and the world. Singapore also invests heavily in military technology, including air defense systems, anti-ship missiles, drones, and electronic warfare. However, Singapore's real power lies in diplomacy. It pursues a pragmatic, balanced foreign policy, maintaining strong relations with all major powers including the US, China, Russia, the EU, India, and Japan. It is a founding member of ASEAN and plays an active role in promoting regional cooperation and collective security. Singapore hosts a U.S. naval base, Changi Naval Base, and allows American forces to use its facilities, providing added security while maintaining strong economic ties with China, its largest trading partner since 2013. This delicate balancing act enables Singapore to retain independence and avoid being drawn into conflicts between major powers. Water and environmental challenges. Surviving as a resource-limited island, one of Singapore's biggest challenges is freshwater scarcity. About 40% of its water supply is imported from neighboring Malaysia under long-term agreements, exposing it to potential political pressures. Singapore developed a comprehensive water strategy known as 4 national taps: local catchment water, rainwater, imported water, reclaimed water, water, desalinated water. The country is a global leader in water recycling and desalination technology. Desalination plants supply about 30% of national water needs, while Newater provides roughly 40%. These investments not only ensure water security but also make Singapore an exporter of water technologies worldwide. Singapore also faces environmental challenges due to its high population density, 8,000 people per square kilometer, and limited green spaces. It introduced the concept of a city in a garden, with green areas covering approximately 47% of the country's land. This innovative urban planning has made Singapore one of the greenest cities in the world, despite its density. Challenges in the future: sustaining the miracle. Despite its success, Singapore faces complex challenges. It relies heavily on global trade, which accounts for over 300% of its GDP, making it vulnerable to global economic fluctuations and geopolitical tensions. Any slowdown in world trade, conflict in the South China Sea, or closure of the Strait of Malacca could significantly impact its economy. Demographically, Singapore struggles with an aging population and a low birth rate of 1.05 children per woman, one of the lowest globally. This leads to a shrinking workforce and increasing pressure on social services and pensions. To mitigate this, Singapore relies on foreign labor, which makes up about 40% of the workforce, raising issues of social integration and public service pressure. Climate change and rising sea levels pose existential threats. Singapore sits at an average elevation of just 15 meters above sea level, making it prone to flooding and coastal erosion. The government plans to invest over 100 billion Singapore dollars in the coming decades to build sea barriers, coastal defenses, and new technologies to protect the island. Singapore has repeatedly demonstrated its adaptability and innovation. It invests around 2% of GDP in R&D, building a resilient and sustainable economy. It also takes bold steps against climate change, including water management technologies, renewable energy, vertical farming, and smart cities. Singapore's story is an inspiring tale of turning challenges into opportunities and weakness into strength. Through strategic vision, wise leadership, hard work, and human capital investment, this small city-state became a global giant far exceeding its size. It proves that geography matters, but human ingenuity, adaptability, and long-term planning are what create miracles. In a world facing climate challenges, geopolitical tensions, and technological shifts, Singapore offers a unique model of good governance, sustainable development, and peaceful multicultural coexistence. It demonstrates that small nations can play a major global role, and success is not exclusive to large countries. Singapore's rise from a poor swamp to a global trade, finance, and technology hub offers lessons for nations worldwide. Invest in human capital and education, build world-class infrastructure, implement flexible, open economic policies, maintain balanced diplomacy, innovate, and plan for future challenges. Ultimately, Singapore proves that vision, willpower, and determination can achieve the impossible.